Apologies for last week. We had some technical difficulties with Facebook changing their interface, but we're here now. Thanks for joining us for the usually weekly Wednesday morning live stream. Actually, last week was the second week we missed because the week before we went off to Calgary, so we had packed everything up and everything was on a truck on its way. So we didn't do a live stream that Wednesday. The show in Calgary was, by all accounts, was pretty successful. I guess there were not extremely packed situation, so it seemed pretty safe. I wasn't there, but by all accounts, it was seemed pretty safe. Um, cases are increasing now again, so maybe it might be another little while before there are more shows available, but hopefully we'll get back next year to be able to start seeing you guys at shows again. In the interim, we're going to keep doing these live streams. We're going to intersperse them, a couple different things we'll be doing. These ones, like today and like we did, I guess 3 weeks ago now. We've missed 2 weeks in a row. We're doing like a deep dive into the settings instead of kind of glossing over and showing, hey, here's a couple of ovals, here's a couple of things. We're starting from the beginning. We have all of our inventory arranged in trays like these. If you've seen us at shows, you've seen us, you've seen the trays. And we're just going to start. Last week we did the first 3 trays. I'm going to try to do at least 3 today, maybe 4. We'll see how quickly I go. I don't want to keep you here too long. I know that I've had a couple people say that an hour is a long time. So we'll try to keep it brief. I'll try not to do too much, blah, blah, blah. Although I'm trying to impart as much information as I can on any of the uses, because sometimes it's not always obvious what things are best for what when you're looking at them. But then once it's explained to you, then it's, oh, right, that makes total sense. So we're trying to make total sense of all of our products. And eventually, the concept is to have kind of a video catalog of all of the products so that you can say, oh, you want to hear something about, or you want to know something useful about MTP 786. Well, you can do a search and you could find which video that we have it in. I'm not going to go so far as to say that we'll even have timestamps in those videos for if you have the particular product, but we should somewhere in the listing, in the description of the video, have a listing of all of the products that are discussed in that video. So anyway, that's the concept. And welcome for being here. We're glad you joined us this morning. If anybody's joined us, anybody on watching right now? Nobody's watching. That's okay. Somebody will watch eventually, I'm sure. Let me talk just quickly about the state of shipping, logistics. Everything seems to be going as badly as ever. It seems like into the U.S. we're getting some delays. I think there's some shenanigans going on with the postal service down there. Hopefully after the election everything will be calmed down. But we've had like 2 weeks shipping from here to Denver, which is outrageous. I mean, normally that'd be 4 or 5 days. There's 1 or 2 other states, I think, where the postal service is having some difficulties with. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the politics of it here. It's neither here nor there, and not important, not generic or not endemic to that conversation. International, I think your best route is still, make the order worthwhile. Add a couple things and ship it by DHL. That you're guaranteed to get it in a couple days. Otherwise, boy, we're still having things like 2 months, shipping stuff. A lot of the times, every time it seems like it goes from one country to the next country, which we ship through the U.S. So when it goes into the U.S., it seems as though the packages get quarantined for 2 weeks because they kind of sit there for a long time. It seems like about 2 weeks. And then they get shipped, to another country. And then when they stop at the other country, then they get stopped for 2 weeks. And there's a lot of quarantining going on, which I guess is the safest way. Anyway, so international postage is just abysmal right now. So take that into consideration. Um, yeah. Okay, let's jump right in. The next tray, because we finished off at tray number 3 last time. Tray number 4, it looks to me like it's mostly rounds, which is kind of cool because there's a lot of things I could talk about um, when talking about rounds. I have let me change the view here. Right. Does that work? No, that doesn't work. Let's see, like I'm so tiny. Hi. Um, uh, for round stones, or the cabs or ovals, or anything. The two most basic, most generic stone shapes. There's Cabochon, which is this flat on the back, domed on the front. And golly, I've seen so many variations of this. It's not even funny, because these are ground by hand, and not everybody has let's say as well developed a sense of quality control as others do, and so the edges are sometimes really weird, sometimes they're really tall, sometimes they're really short. I guess it also depends on the rough that you're doing, or if you're opals or ammonites. Those kind of things are normally doublets or triplets, which make them easier to carve. They're more stable. I don't recommend, well, I don't want to say that. Setting raw stones like raw ammonites or opals is tricky because they're a lot more fragile than they are. I like doublets. I prefer triplets just because. And a doublet's just a word for um, a stone where it's like a slice of the stone, and there's usually a stone, sometimes glass media on the back that it's glued to, and then there's a clear media on the front that it's also glued to, usually resin or glass, and then they're polished the same way they are regular stones. It's like a sandwich. Um, you see that a lot in opals. You see that a lot in ammonites, and you know people are of multiple minds. There are people who prefer those, people who don't, and I guess there's no right way or wrong way. There's just a way or another way, another preference. So I don't want to have people emailing me and saying, "Oh, Mark, I hate triplets." I don't care. They all work. They all look gorgeous, and that's really the criteria, right? Does it look gorgeous or not? Anyway, for setting, uh, you know. Uh, Doublets, I think they're more stable. They're well, more stable. They're less prone to cracking and breaking. Let's say that. So, but as far as stones and things, right? So um, there's the generic cabochon. That's right. That's just round domed on the outside. Flat on the back. And then there's just a regular cut stone. I don't know if you can see that, right? It's just a traditional cut stone with a this one is pretty deep pavilion, which is a good example for showing you something that I'm going to show you. These happen to be 8mm stones, so I'm just going to jump right into something. Right, so we've got these pendants, these round pendants. This one, let's see if I can get this a little closer. MTP 782. And I'll get back and show the sizes, but I just wanted to show you something about this kind of a setting versus where's in another 8mm, versus this kind of a basket setting, right? They both kind of work the same way. They both serve the same function. Because the back is so high, right? This you almost always want to have it. Let me just see if I can get this in here without too much muss or fuss, right? So, this gorgeous for 8mm stone, and you've got that the deep back, right, for the pavilion to go in there, and that looks great. That looks just awesome. But if you put a cabochon in this kind of a setting, right? I can get it in there. It'll still work, it'll still Let me see if I can get that in there. Well, let's call that good. Anyway, this is not going to go in easily because of the notches. Okay. No, I don't think so. I think I got it. Let's call that in. Right, so that's in there, and that works, and it's a thing, and it fits. But you've got that big gap, right, underneath the stone. That looks weird. Right. So this kind of a setting, while it would work for a cabochon, and you can definitely do that, nobody's going to say, hey, don't do that. It's probably less appropriate for a cabochon than it is for a cut stone. We have some other round settings that I'm not going to show you today because they're not in the trays that here, but there's other ones that are made, pretty much specifically for cabs, that are too shallow for cut stones to fit in them. So again, this is another one of those. Not all X by Y settings are the same. So that kind of I don't know, what do you call it? I guess crown setting. That kind of traditional crown setting for a cut stone is available in 3.5 millimeter. This MTP 784. The retail price is $6.12. The wholesale price is $3.84. And it's also available in 6 millimeter. Right, that's MTP 783 is the code for that. Retail price $8.31, wholesale price $5.54. It's also available in the 8 millimeter that I just showed you, MTP 782. The retail price $8.54, wholesale price $5.69. Right, and it gets big. We get bigger ones. Here's a 10 millimeter MTP 781. Retail price is $11.70. Wholesale price $7.80. We got this 12 millimeter or 12 millimeter round MTP 780. Retail price $14.04. Wholesale price $9.36. Here's another good example. Here's a MTP 779 for a 13 millimeter stone. Retail price $18.60, wholesale price $12.40. And I got a cab in there, right? It would actually probably sit a little bit higher if you can get that in there. And actually, looking at the shape of that cabochon, it's pretty high dome. I'm not sure that it would be secure in there, even if you could get it in there. But anyway, so you see another example how this is not very appropriate for that kind of a stone. The kind of a stone that it is appropriate for is a cut stone. See that how the pavilion goes right down into the basket there. MTP 778, and this is a 15 millimeter setting. Retail price $21.74, wholesale price $14.50, and that does not come with the stone. Just so we're clear. Then we've got this other little basket style, and I'm going to show you the biggest version of this one that we have. It's just a simple one with a little simple bail on the top, right? Just a round, plain old basket setting with 4 prongs. Focus. That's nice. Oh, this phone. When it focuses, it's beautiful, but when it doesn't, it's not. Anyway, we've got this available in 3 millimeter for a 3 millimeter round, MTP 794, and MTP 793 for a 4 millimeter one. For retail price is $4.82, and the wholesale price is $3.21. And again, these just have a loop in the top, right? So a little tiny bail, so you can use this as dangles off a bracelet or a necklace, or whatever you want, or earrings. That'd be awesome, just as dangles and earrings. MTP 1068 is the 5 millimeter version of that. We've got this MTP 792 is a 6 millimeter version. This one has a little bit more different. It has a kind of a split bail. Let me get one out of the thing so you can see it a little better. It's got that split. I call it a rabbit ears bail. I don't know if there's a technical name for it. It's just a split bail, right? At the top. Anyway, that's MTP 792 with a retail price of $9.13 and a wholesale price of $6.08. There's a little bit different version. This one actually has a bail on it, a soldered loop and a bail, right? MTP 788, 6 millimeter stone. Retail price is $9.04 and the wholesale price is $6.02. Now the back of that is completely full, and you'll see that on sometimes or some like this one, which I'll show you later. Right, the half the back is full, is enclosed, and that's a structural thing. If you had no back on that when you tried setting it, just the small basket, right? As you tried pushing these closed, the whole shape would shift and become oval. So you need to have a little more structural integrity to keep that setting round. That's why they have that back. So, it's a basket. It's a pretty high basket, so you should be okay unless you have a stone with a really super deep pavilion. Which is possible. Cut stones. It's not like there's one, machine that cuts all the stones in the world. There is machines that do that, but the vast majority of stones that you're going to buy, if you're buying them at shows or on home and garden shopping network or whatever that thing is, or ordering them on the internet or ordering them through, some Facebook group. Some guy in Indonesia is cutting stones. There's an actual person who's doing all those cuts, and you can adjust the color or the depth, the clarity, or not the clarity, but the depth of the color of a stone by shifting the height of the pavilion. The deeper the pavilion, the deeper the color you get. You see this a lot in aquamarines, amethysts, not so much in garnets, but stones that are prone to be really, really light. If it's a really shallow stone, it'll look almost colorless, whereas if you make it deeper, you can make it a deeper blue or whatever it is. Anyway, so that's that. A little too much blah, blah, blah. Here's a little different, this is a 6-prong one, right? Basket. It's a completely open basket, and they can get away with that because look at how big that seat is. That seat is nice and thick, so that won't bend unless you really squeeze the crap out of it, and it should be fine. And that's for a 7 millimeter stone. MTP 271, $10.81 is the retail price, and $6.37 is the wholesale price. And those things we did. Just continue with the more round basket settings. This is one with that half back things. This is also for a 7 millimeter stone. MTP 923. Retail price is $8.16 and the wholesale price is $5.44. This particular setting is also available in a couple of other sizes. This is an 8 millimeter version of that. MTP 787. Retail price of $10.35, wholesale price of $6.89. It's also available in a 10 millimeter version, right? MTP 786 with a retail price of $12.49, wholesale price of $8.33. And again, nice, open basket, beautiful. That's just perfect for a nice deep. You can get away with a pretty deep pavilion on those ones, which is good. Here's another one, MTP 711, for a 10 millimeter stone. The retail price is $12.42 and the wholesale price is $7.76. And it's just got that single cross brace on there to hold that in, which should be plenty. Also available in a 12 millimeter version, MTP 785. Again, for 12 millimeter stone, the retail price is $13.99 and the wholesale price is $9.33. Now, I personally prefer these kind with the brace just along, that flat edge on the inside of that. I don't know if you can see that, right? That is, more than enough to make that round setting super sturdy, so that if you are pushing the prongs in thing on one side, you're holding it here and you're pushing the prongs in, that's enough to keep that round this is enough of a brace to keep that round. This also works. My only concern with this is if it's a super deep pavilion, which it would have to be. These prongs are really bent out, dude. Super deep pavilion. It might hit the brace there. But again, that's kind of more of an issue if it's like a really, really deep stone. Normally, you wouldn't worry about it. Here's another different version. Again, same basket with that split rabbit ear bail. I guess MTP 791 for an 8 millimeter stone. Retail price is $11.18. Wholesale price is $7.46. Another rabbit ear for a 13 millimeter stone. MTP 236 is the code. $11.95 is retail price and wholesale at $7.48. And here's another one that I guess has been sitting here, so the prongs broke off that, I guess, from being at shows too long at shows in the tray. So this is just a split rabbit ear bail, right? Lovely, super tall basket. That little section there to brace that, right? I don't know if you can see this, but the bottom of the seat here of the frame, this is flat thing on the inside, rounded on the outside. So it's really, if you've ever seen the difference between like a jump ring or a flat loop, right? If you tried to squeeze those, totally different experience. Very secure. MTP 236L for large, I guess. 15 millimeters, that is a large one. Retail price is $16.59 and the wholesale price is $10.37. Just want to make sure I put that away later. Now we're getting into the whoppers. Here's a MTP 790 18 millimeter stone. Retail price is $20.22 and the wholesale price is $13.48. This one is not super deep, but it's got a big wide opening, so the culet can extend out the back. The only time you'd really want to yep. Okay. So I think where we left off was this MTP 789 for a 20 millimeter stone. The retail price is $24.43 and the wholesale price is $16.29. And the last round one in this particular tray is MTP 276 for a 13 millimeter round stone. Not super deep, so shallow pavilion will fit in here beautifully. You can actually probably get away with putting a cab in here too. I don't think I have a 13 millimeter cab. You know what, I might. What's that? Not quite. But never mind, this works. Actually, that looks pretty good. So, Cabochon fits in here beautifully, I think. Did I say the code? MTP 276, or it's giving me a signal here. What is that saying? Oh, I think one person has joined the stream. 13 millimeter round, Retail price is $15.28, and the wholesale price is $10.39. Okay, next tray, and I'm gonna try to get through this quickly. Oh, you see, look, I can see now. We actually have 2 people in now. That's good. I'm not usually able to see when people join. 3 people. People are finding us again. Again, sorry, folks, for the technical difficulties. Here is a pear shape, and this next tray is almost all pears. Not almost. It is all pears. Of course, pear-shaped stone being just, teardrop, thing, right? And I happen to have a cabochon there, but obviously pear-shaped stone, you can get them in, cut stones thing, whatever. This setting here is, sorry, I was saying what? Okay, something's happening here. Uh-oh. Okay. I can't make that go down. Yeah. Okay. Is the pear with prongs. I can actually read the people's things now. That's great. This one, MTP 517 for an 11 by 17 millimeter pear. Retail price is $15.93 and the wholesale price is $9.96. This one, the seat is flat, so I guess ostensibly this is designed for a cabochon, but you definitely put a cut stone in there. It's got that, which I much prefer, the double prongs here at the top. So if you have like a pointy top, it fits in there beautifully. If you have the very top point, if it's not very pointy, if it's a little bit rounded, that gives you a little bit more room. Joe, thank you. You'll take 4. 4 of what? Anyway, so that's. Here we've got MTP 502 for a 10 by 17 millimeter pair. $14.29 is the retail price, $8.93 is the wholesale price. This has got some lovely cubic zirconias up in the bale, right? A pretty wide bale. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. And again, it's got the 2 separate prongs up at the top, so it doesn't matter what those pear pendants in my hand. So this one, right, for 11 by 17, MTP 517. Joe, I think Joe wants 4 of these. Maybe we'll get Marble to chat with you, or somebody to chat with you privately. All right. Here's our next one, MTP 604 for a 12 by 18 millimeter pair. This looks a little distorted. It's not. I think it's just the angle of the camera. Again, it's got some lovely cubic zirconia accents in there. Retail price $27.30. $19.50 is the wholesale price. And again, that's right. Got that lovely, those 2 prongs at the top, which I much prefer to this particular style, right? This is MTP 534 for a 10 by 24 millimeter pair. Retail price $19.38. Wholesale price $12.12. Now this one has kind of like a bezel wall. I don't know if you can see that seat. So this is perfect for a cabochon. With a point. It's got to be a pretty good point because the top chevron there has a little cubic zirconia accent. And that once the point is up in there, you can push that down onto there, and that'll hold it in place. And it's got all these other little cubic zirconias in the bottom. Really gorgeous. MTP 534, retail price $19.38, wholesale price $12.12. We've got another one. This is one of our very most popular sellers. There's 2 or 3 in this tray that are really super popular. MTP 910 for an 8 by 12 millimeter pair. Retail price $14.20. Wholesale price is $9.46. And again, it's got that really super versatile double prong up at the top. That's great for if it's a really pointy stone, or if it's a little bit rounded point. You know, the ones with the chevrons with the single, do I have one here? Let me, oh, here, like this. And you see this, that chevron at the top, right? For that single, that's you pretty much need to have a super pointy top in the top of the stone to do that. But with the double prongs, or with 4 independent prongs, you can get away with way less pointy, you know, tops in that thing. Anyway, that's a really good one. Here's another. This is one where, you know, you're showing off the stone. Why does that look weird? I promise they're not bent like this. It's just the angle of the phone or something. MTP 989 for a 16 by 23 millimeter stone. Retail price is $11.80. Wholesale price is $7.37. And again, once this is set, the only thing you're going to see are these kind of chevron shaped prongs on the side, right? On the side. And at the top, and that lovely cubic zirconia accented bail. So this is one of those pendants where it's like, look at my stone, instead of look at the pendant that has a beautiful stone in it. Here's a setting that an oval that somehow made it into this tray. I don't know why it's there, but it is. MTP 560 for an 8 by 10 millimeter stone. Retail price is $18.24. Wholesale price is $11.40. And again, this is cute little hearts, accents, little cubic zirconia in the bottom there. Very nice kind of, I don't know, flowy pattern to it. Here's another pretty popular pear-shaped stone for a 6 by 9 millimeter pair. MTP 867. Retail price is $12.92. Wholesale price is $8.61. There are no cubic zirconias in this one, but it's got real, you know, real serious Celtic vibe going, you know, in that look. So it's really gorgeous. Again, cabochon or cut stone will fit in there. It's got the 4 independent prongs, which is I like that best personally. The chevron thing works great if you've got a stone with a really pointy point, I guess, at the top. Like this, same kind of thing. This is a single chevron. Oh no, it's a double prong. You can get it there. Oh, yep. It's a double prong MTP 548 for a 10 by 17 millimeter pair. Retail price is $16.61 and the wholesale price is $10.39. And this has got some, I don't know, kind of floral thing with a bunch of cubic zirconias in there. I don't know, maybe it looks like a flower. And the bail is super, you know, intricate with all the stones in there. Just gorgeous. Lovely. I'm going fast, I know. I should slow down. MTP 562 for a 13 by 18 millimeter pair. Retail price is $20.85. Wholesale price is $13.04. The defining factor, again, it's got that double, nope, that's a chevron at the top. It's got that prongs on the bottom. So this, boy, a cut stone would fit in there, probably better for a cabochon. And the only thing with this, I would just be careful when you're pushing this, the very top prong down, that you don't accidentally pop that cubic zirconia out in there. I've got this lovely bail that has cubic zirconias bedecked in there, and a bunch of CZs in the bottom, one inside the little heart and a couple where the prongs are. Very cute. Here's another more, I don't know, ribbony sort of flourishes. MTP 557 for a 9x13mm stone. Retail price is $17.08. Wholesale price is $10.69. There's a little tiny cubic zirconia in the end there, and another little tiny one up near the top. Again, ideal for a cabochon or a cut stone. Either will work for that. We've got MTP 911 for a 10x14mm stone. The retail price is $21.97 and the wholesale price is $14.65. Get that dust off there. Nice wide open, bail. The bail is incorporated into the design, so it's all kind of one. I mean, it's not one piece. It's it's articulated here, but it looks, I don't know, very cool. Here's a more Victorian sort of look. MTP 524 for an 8x12 or 8x11mm pear-shaped stone. Retail price is $19.62 and a wholesale price $12.26. With a couple little cubic zirconias in there in the bottom, and just lovely little kind of flourishes up at the top. Very interesting asymmetrical design, which I kind of like. I'm a fan of that. And we've got a MTP 914. Yeah, I think Nelson is talking to that fella. MTP 504 for a 9x13mm stone. Retail price $18.81 and the wholesale price is $11/17. It's got that chevron, single chevron at the top, and the smaller prongs at the bottom. The seed is angled, so it's ostensibly for a cut stone, but I've got a cabochon here that you can see that fits lovely. It's gorgeous, right? That would totally fit here beautifully. On this cab, though, the point is not super pointy, but it's pointy enough that it'll definitely hold in that chevron. MTP 519 for an 11x23mm pair. $21.22 is the retail price and $13.26 is the wholesale price. This has got a bunch of little cubic zirconia accents all the way around it. Very simple design. So when you've got this set, you're just going to see these these, I don't know, bars around the outside to create a nice little border with some cubic zirconias in there. Very classic. There's a MTP 520 for an 11x16mm stone. Retail price is $17.72. Wholesale price is $11.08. Again, very clean, very classic. It's got the double prongs up at the top. It's got some pretty tall prongs on there, so this, I would feel no compunction setting anything in there. A cut stone, a cabochon, even a really super high dome cabochon would fit in there easily. Beautiful. Here's the other one that's probably our second most popular pear-shaped setting. MTP 545 for a 10x13mm stone. The retail price is $19.60 and the wholesale price is $12.25. Again, simple, clean seat, right, with the double prongs up at the top. But these, I don't know, border flourishes, just set the whole thing off, make it really, really classic. That's another one of those settings that really highlights the stone versus just being a place to put your it draws more from the stone than it does draws from the pendant, I guess would be another way to say it. MTP 672 for a 13 by 17 millimeter cabochon. This has got to be a cabochon only, right? You couldn't put a cut stone in there. Retail price is $23.87. Wholesale price is $14.33. So when the stone is glued in there, and you'd have to glue it in there, you would just see this part out one side and that part out the other side, framing it gorgeously, I think. Right? Very simple, very tasteful. Well, I can't go wrong. So if you're a lapidary and you can adjust, you know, I think you can get it to fit in there just perfectly. Although again, 13 by 17 teardrop, pretty common. Here's another one, MTP 537 for a 10 by 18 millimeter stone. Retail price is $18.93 and the wholesale price is $11.83. Another sort of classic, it's got the 4 independent prongs, so cut stones, cabochons, put whatever you want in there, as long as the size is right. Nice classic little, just a simple bail with a cute little cubic zirconia up at the top of the setting. There, just really eye-catching. Here's another one with a seriously Celtic vibe, and this one we've had requests to make a smaller version of these for earrings, which I don't know, I might talk about, try to convince Marble to get that, to do that. MTP 527L for a 12 by 24 millimeter pear-shaped stone. The retail price is $16.78. Wholesale price is $10.07. And I just want to show you this, right? So the seat itself is articulated and has dangles, right? Just inside that lovely Celtic twining cord settings, right? Very nice. Oops. Here's MTP 873 for an 8 by 12 millimeter cab or cut stone. It's got the 4 independent prongs. Retail price is $12.08. Wholesale price is $8.05. And it's got the incorporated bail, right? This is all one piece. Very simple, very classic. Can't go wrong. Here's another for MTP 567 for a 10 by 13 millimeter pair. Retail price is $18.63. Wholesale price is $11.65. This one has got it looks like a double prong, but I think it's soldered close, so it's ostensibly a chevron. So something with a pointy top would be better on this. You might be able to get away with a little bit of a rounded point at the top, but this border with those lovely waves, sort of curls, can't go wrong. Nice bold border, always very cool. Here's one for MTP 287 for a 9 by 14 millimeter pair. Retail price is $17.58. Wholesale price is $11.74. Again, very simple, very classic. Curving lines. We've got the chevron top, so you're going to need to have a pointy stone. I think you could definitely put a cabochon in there, although I think a cut stone would look nicer. It's got don't see this very often. We've got these double prongs in the bottom. Normally, if you have these double prongs, they're only at the top. But very cool. You can't go wrong with that. We've got another one, MTP 913, another sort of swirling Celtic looking thing, for an 8 by 12 millimeter pair. Retail price is $13.73. Wholesale price is $9.15. This is has a soldered loop and bail right in the top. There are no cubic zirconias in there or anything. It's got the double prong at the top, so cabochon, cut stone. You can put pretty much anything you want in there. Either will work. And that's it for the tray of pairs. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to try to do try being the operative word here. Try to do this without without breaking something. Okay. Oh no. See, can we do this? Okay, so I don't know if you guys are seeing this sideways or if you're seeing that not. It's giving me a. It's good? Okay. MTP 424 for an 8 by 10 millimeter oval. Retail price is $28.13. Wholesale price is $18.67. Oh, it is sideways? Bummer. Okay. Thanks, Bruno. We'll get this. We'll get this straight. Okay. Now we're looking at me now. Okay. Let's see if we can get. There we go. MTP 424 for an 8 by 10. I already said this. So this one, we've got a right perfect for cut stone, right? But depending on the shape of your cabochon, oh, I had one here already, and now it's gone run away. Right, as long as it's not a super high dome, right, like that, that's definitely, once you push those prongs over onto that, will be totally secure. Right, so that's lovely, that tiger's eye in there. Cubic zirconia is all the way around the bottom. I like it. There's another one. Oh, I really like this. MTP 396 for a 9 by 11 millimeter stone. Again, you could put a cabochon or a cut stone in there. My only concern with a cut stone is, because there's no basket, right? The setting is the setting. If it's a really deep pavilion with a pointy culet, it might rub against your, your chest and be irritating. MTP 396 for a 9 by 11 millimeter stone. Retail price $31.25, and the wholesale price is $20.83. We've got another MTP 420 for a 13 by 17 millimeter stone. Retail price is $25.57, and the wholesale price is $17.04. These have nice high prongs. So if you've got a really high domed cabochon like this one, right, you can definitely see that those would push high enough up onto the stone that they're inside the perimeter of the stone once that's set. It's not a very pretty stone to use for an example, but shape-wise, it's good because this is a pretty high dome, and it's got kind of a flat edge around the outside edge, right? And it seems to me like a lot of lapidaries are not jewelers because they don't really take into consideration how easy or difficult it will be to set the stones after the fact. Here's one, MTP 417 for a 14 by 19 millimeter stone. Retail price is $46.18, and the wholesale price is $30.78. This is bedecked everywhere with cubic zirconias. Just lovely, classic, setting. Definitely put I think ostensibly it's designed for a cabochon, but you can definitely put a cut stone in there. Yeah. Here's another oval setting, MTP 608 for a 10 by 14 millimeter stone, cabochon or cut stone, either will work. Retail price $31.85 or wholesale price $18.20. And again, this has just, some scrolls and flares, bedecked with cubic zirconias. It's got that lovely big oval bail, or inverted teardrop bail, right? Here's one for a curious shaped stone, kind of oh boy, I've seen these shaped stones, all over the place. I don't know what it's called, but if you have this shape of a stone, and we're calling it a 5 by 13, I guess the widest part is 5 millimeters, and the length is 13 millimeters. Right? But that you could put a cabochon in there. I don't think I've ever seen cut stones of this shape, but the setting is designed for a cabochon, with lovely, scroll work around the outside, and some little leaves with cubic zirconias in the top, right? Or I don't know, maybe they're I don't know, wings, maybe. Here's a MTP 426 for an 11 by 15 millimeter stone. Retail price is $38.12, and the wholesale price is $25.42. A nice oval, again, with pretty good sized prongs, so you can put a really high dome cabochon in there. Cubic zirconias all the way around. I don't know, that feels like a nice, very traditional sort of Chinese look to me. I don't know why. It's evocative of that, dragons or geese or something. Here's a sideways oval, right, for a MTP 412 for an 8 by 10 millimeter stone. With some, flourish, I don't know, wings kind of flourishes. $25.34 is the whole retail price, and the wholesale price is $16.89. And then it's got pretty good sized, prongs, so you could, cut stone for sure, will fit in there, fine, beautifully. But you could also definitely get away with a cabochon too, right? Those prongs are plenty high enough to get over inside the perimeter of that of a cab. I'm digging the way that tiger's eye looks on camera. Very nice. Here's another really popular setting. I don't know why it's so popular, but I think the incorporated bail and just those kind of ribbony, flourishy things with that stone there. That's for an 8 millimeter round stone, MTP 861, 8 millimeter. For retail price is $17.68, and the wholesale price is $12.79. Let me see if I got a 8 millimeter stone that fits in there. Right. So, well, I'm not going to mess with it, but there's, I think, another lovely little. I think this would look better with a cut stone, but just because I'm partial to the sparkle of a cut stone. Just like the way it looks on it. Look at that. God, that's gorgeous. Cannot go wrong. I think some of these things, it's just easier to see what they look like for real when there's a stone in them, or how they're going to easier to visualize what it'll look like when you're done. MTP 264 for a 10 by 15 millimeter oval. The retail price is $19.47, and the wholesale price is $13.39. We've got some ribbony sort of flourishes up at the top. Nice big wide basket for a nice big cut stone to fit in there. You could definitely put a cabochon in there too. Here's MTP 513 for a 13 by 17 millimeter cab. Retail price is $20.93, and the wholesale price is $13.08. Cubic zirconias in the top, incorporated bail, right? So it's all one piece. Lovely. I've got some different size things in here. Here's a MTP 293B for a 6 millimeter square stone. Again, these prongs all have the notch cut out of the inside, so you just push those in, and the little pointy squares got to be pretty pointy corners to be securely set in that. No, yeah, they're not very tall, those prongs. Retail price is $14.70 and wholesale price is $9.88.
I think you should tell the people wholesale regular price, minimum quantity, minimum amount.
Oh, right. So here I'm telling everybody the retail price and the wholesale price. The wholesale price is available if you spend $150 or more at the wholesale level. Right, so if you're just buying one of these, is $13.17. But if you were buying 9, so you need to get 16 of these. If you've got 16 of these, it'd be $9.23 each. And you don't have to buy all of one thing, right? It's $150 total. So if you got 10 settings where the wholesale price was $15 or more, then you'd get the wholesale price. Right? Does that make sense? I guess $150 total at the wholesale price, right? So and this thing, if this were $15 retail, you couldn't, you wouldn't get the wholesale price if you bought 10 of them, right? Because the wholesale price would still only be $92, if that makes sense. MTP 110 for a 7x9 oval. Retail price is $13.17. Wholesale price is $9.23. Lovely. It's kind of a teardrop setting with a nice wide basket, very decorative, back. Just soldered loop and bail. The bail is plain. But a nice big open thing. So really, no matter how big the pavilion on your stone is, this definitely would fit in there. And we got this one. I've already put a stone in here. MTP 523 for a 7x9 millimeters cabochon or cut stone. Retail price $17.64. Wholesale price is $11.02. Let me get the stone out of there. Got some cubic zirconias in the top and in the bottom. Nice, bold, kind of oval setting. Here's another one that's kind of a little bit bigger version of the. I have one in the other tray. Super popular setting is, again, this is one of our best sellers. MTP 904 for a 10x12 millimeter cabochon or cut stone. Retail price is $24.95. Wholesale price is $16.63. This has got some pretty good sized prongs, so no matter how deep or how tall the cabochon is, you definitely be able to get it in there. If it's a really low dome, you could just snip these prongs down, dress the ends so they're rounded again, and just push that down on there. Maybe in a future video, I'll have some examples of how to do that, dressing the ends of those prongs, because sometimes, like these, the prongs are specifically made longer than you'll probably ever need them to be. So you can definitely use them that long, but I think if you have a really low dome cabochon, you don't want the prongs extending too far into the stone. It just looks weird. So these, you'd probably cut these down to the length you need them to be and then push them down onto the stone. MTP 105 for an 11x9 millimeter oval cut stone or cab. Retail price $12.05. Wholesale price $8.23. And this one just has some kind of cool flourishes. I don't know. So many different styles. So little time. Here's another gorgeous one. MTP 970 for a 10x14 millimeter cabochon or cut stone. Cut stone for sure. You might be able to put a cab in there depending on how high of a dome it is. Retail price $20.25. Wholesale price is $12.66. And I love this. There's some cubic zirconias in there, sort of thing, but there are these little accents with that kind of like twisted wire, almost like millgrain effect. And you've got these hearts kind of on the side. Very cool, very classic, almost romantic looking piece. Here's one, MTP 406 for a 15 by 20 millimeter cabochon. It's got a ring of cubic zirconias around the outside, right? So when this is set, you'll see the stone on the inside and just that ring of CZs on the outside with these leaves up at the top. So it's like your stone is the seed of the world. This is the world tree. MTP 406 for a 15 by 20 stone. Retail price $44.34. Wholesale price $29.56. I just love this one. It's kind of an interesting dichotomy between the very floral piece at the top and the cubic zirconias all the way around the bottom. Now this one is kind of curious, and I don't know if I want to pull one out of the bag so you can see it not mounted on the card. Right, so this is how this, sits. The string or whatever goes, sideways through that and through the setting, right? So it's a nice big wide setting like that. For the 4x6 oval cabochon or cut stone, MTP 884 is the code. Retail price of $13.29. Wholesale price of $8.87. I think theoretically you could also mount it like this, although I think it will dangle weird, right? Usually it's just meant to sit like that. It's very cool, very non-traditional setting. This one, MTP 616 for a 15 by 20 millimeter oval cab or cut stone. Retail price is $47.32 and the wholesale price is $27.04. We've got these lovely, I don't know, almost kind of Greek looking border with alternating cubic zirconias and naked silver. Very gorgeous. Very bold. Here's MTP 447 for a 9 by 13 millimeter stone. Retail price $30.41 and the wholesale price $20.27. Just lines of cubic zirconias and I don't know, swirls all the way around, embordering that seat, right? Here's kind of an interesting one. MTP 549 for a 10 by 12 millimeter cut stone or cabochon will fit in there. Retail price $17.73 and the wholesale price is $11.08. There's a little tiny cubic zirconia in the middle of that circle at the top, right? The bail is incorporated into the design, so it's all one piece. Very nice. Here's a very plain, simple oval for a cabochon, for a 10 by 8 millimeter cab. Let me get, I guess this one looks like it's been sitting in that tray forever. I promise they're not tarnished when you get them. They'll be lovely silver like that, right? It's just, a plain, basket with a open back, lightweight, can't go wrong. MTP 962 for $6.79 is a retail price. $4.52 is a wholesale price. And if it's a low dome on your cabochon, a real low dome, you could theoretically push that in, the bezel wall in, as though it's like a regular bezel wall. Or if it's a really tall cabochon, you can just glue that in there using a good 2-part epoxy. Here's another very interesting MTP 212 6 by 8 millimeter oval. Retail price is $12.05. Wholesale price is $8.03. Again, the bail is incorporated into the design, so it's all one piece. We've got some lovely cubic zirconias and some, trailing lines with a lovely little ivy leaf down at the bottom. Kind of almost Celtic inspired, but not really. I don't know, it has that sort of look to it. And that is the last one. Should I keep going? No, I think we should. Yeah, I think we're good. Uh, so I think, owing that we've had so many technical difficulties, I'm going to stop there. I've done 3 trays. Oh my gosh. This has been one of those days, I guess. Well, we had that incident last week with uh, Facebook kept changing their interface, and we couldn't figure out how to get it to work. And I think we finally figured out how to get it to work, but then we had some um, phone issues. Um, I promise next week we won't have any issues. It'll be smooth as silk, and we'll get through a bunch more trays. Um, and we look forward to seeing you then. Again, if you share this video, make sure we know, and we'll send you one of these polishing cloths. Any orders that you placed, I know that somebody, I forget who, somebody wanted to order something, and we got a hold of them offline. You do get free shipping, free regular shipping on retail orders. Um, what else? I think that's it. Uh, Thanks for joining us this week. Sorry again for all the technical snafus. Next week we'll be back next Wednesday from 10:30 Pacific till however long. Hopefully it'll be under an hour. How long have we gone for? Oh crap, 90 minutes. To be fair, we went over, but there was a little bit of a gap between the time that we had the camera stop working and the time that we got back up. So I don't know if this is going to be split into 2 separate videos or if it'll all be one video. I don't know. Not my problem. I'll let somebody else figure that out. But in the meantime, um, stay safe, stay creative, keep making stuff. Take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, take care of the planet. And we will see you next Wednesday on the SilviaFindings live stream video presentation. We really need to think of another way to do this than Facebook Live. But don't get me started. And don't let Mark Zuckerberg know that I said that. Didn't hear it from me. Okay, I guess that's it. How do I turn this off now? We're done. Thanks.